I'm Doug Atkinson here at Solutions Review, and I want to thank all of our panelists and speakers for participating in this quarterly mini jam. These events have been wildly successful for us, helping to drive almost 850,000 subscribers to our YouTube channel. And of course, we are continuing to build the always-on community site at insidejam.com, where you can connect with experts like you'll see today, along with colleagues and peers, and continue the conversation around enterprise technology. If you haven't already joined insidejam.com, please do. And if you have, please invite a colleague to join as well. Thank you very much for being here, and enjoy this event.
Solutions Review presents the Inside Jam Expert Keynote.
The idea of a single-handed company valued more than $1 billion is quite new. And it comes from this scene, a single-handed person steering the yacht over the ocean, over the storms. And last year, Sam Altman, the founder and CEO of OpenAI, brought up the idea, and he talked about a bet with some friends of him, that we will now see the first companies arise, run by one single person or a small team of persons, and being valued more than $1 billion. Actually, I read an article about this by Article Tank and Forbes last June, and I was fascinated. I was fascinated by the idea, and I asked myself, how can I build that kind of company? As Robert Kiyosaki said, don't tell the world why you can't accomplish something. Ask the question, how can I? And so I started researching and thinking about it. What does it actually take to build such a massive company on your own? And so I write the book, The Single-Handed Unicorn, and thought about each and every aspect in the process. What does it take? The needed mindset, the needed tool set. What kind of business model do you need as a foundation to reach such a status? And so Forbes itself got interested, and they published an article, The Future is Solar. AI is creating billion-dollar one-person companies, by the very smart journalist Michael Ashley. And I was very happy that my work got in the limelight with this idea. Why does it matter so much? My personal journey into AI began some 35 years ago. My name is Tim Cortinovis, and I'm now 52 years old. And when I was a nerdish young boy, I started programming my first little computer with something that was called Eliza then, that had nothing to do with all the advanced chatbots, large language models we see in our days. But it was a first glimpse, the first idea of a machine taking over our tasks and thoughts. And so I started this journey, and I'm now traveling the globe, holding keynotes in English, Spanish, and German around how we can use AI in business. I wrote some 5 books about the topic, being The Single-Handed Unicorn, How to Solo Build a Billion-Dollar Company, the last one. And I'm really honored to be Thinker 360, top 10 thought leader in sales and top 10 thought leader in agentic AI. So this is my background. Why does it happen right now? Why do we see each and every time we open our news feeds new inventions, new ideas, new methods, and the whole thing in AI seems to be exploding right now? This is happening just because we are living in the exponential age. And that not since yesterday, but for the last 600 years. It all started with this one, not with this book, but with the handing over of information to the next generation or to other persons. Until the Middle Ages, we as humanity were only able to copy information with handwritten manuscripts. And that was normally done by monks in monasteries. And some smart people calculated that an average monk on an average day could copy 20 pages per day. That was the speed with which information could be handed over to other persons. And of course, as the church was an intermediary here, censorship was huge. And then in 1438, Johannes Gutenberg invented this one, the letterpress. And this was called the first exponential technology because from one day to another, we as a humanity were able to copy information with 20 books a day or 3,600 pages. And you don't have to take out your calculator. I've done the math for you. This is 180 times faster than before. And this started everything. At the beginning, it was quite linear. We invented, yes, we as humanity, we invented in 1878 the telephone, 1896, the radio, in 1926, the television, 1938, transistors, and then the internet in 1969. The first version from the DARPA, and that was not the colorful, imageful internet we now see nowadays, but the first version of the internet. And then everything changed and the whole development became exponential. And now, while we're talking here, we see a linear going steep up. And while we're talking here outside, new ideas come up, new inventions are made, and AI is determining everything. So this is the beginning. And AI is also called the general purpose technology, or as Andrew Ng, a colleague of mine from Asia, stated, AI is the new electricity. Yes, that's totally right, Andrew. But this guy here is still not invented. We don't have the light bulb for the AI age. We are still searching for it. And maybe agents will become this year the light bulb of the artificial intelligence age. We will see in the course of this year. So this is the foundation we're talking about. And this is what we have at hand to build massive companies on our own. Basically, we need three things. And I think we should start with the needed mindset. And when you hear, or at least when I hear the idea of solo building a massive company, this sounds a lot of solitarian states and a lot of being solo and a little bit depressed, maybe. But that is not the case, not at all. To build a massive company, you don't need large teams, not at all. But you also can't do it in your room alone. You have to connect to peers. You have to discuss ideas and ways to go to thrive with a lot of other people to get inspired and to discuss what works and what won't. So doing it solo does not mean doing it solitarian. The second one, you don't need the perfect product to thrive and to have a massive success. This is not a new concept. This is a very old one, as Reid Hoffman, one of the founders of LinkedIn, stated. If you aren't embarrassed by the first version of your product, you shipped too late. And in the age of single-handed unicorn companies, this doubles. And I would call it not only the minimum viable product as before, but the most minimum viable product. So you have to start with a very, very minimum product and then test it on the market, see what works and what doesn't, adjust and iterate again and iterate again until you have a massive product that fits the market. Second one, go for systems and not for ideas. That, for instance, is my system that is running now for the last 9 months, and it is answering all of my emails and WhatsApp messages on my behalf. I called it RIG, and it's a system that works with every email. There's no manual control in between. What brings up another part here, we have to trust the AI a lot. And it works, and in 98% of all cases of emails, of messages coming in, the answer of the AI assistant is really helpful. And the majority of my clients are just amazed and inspired by the quality of the answers they get. And so this system allows me to talk to you here in such a keynote or on other places while Rick is answering all of my emails. So the system helps me to scale a lot, and I have free time to think about and to change the operations of my business here. So think in systems, think in structures, and being more structured than before helps and frees your time to operate and to work actually on your company and not in your company. So the next thing here is the tool set. And the tool set is amazing. Every day you open your news feed, you see new tools arise. The problem, of course, here is to decide with which tools to go on and with which not, which tools to test, and which tools are worth your time testing them. That is quite annoying, and that is could be quite problematic, as it takes some time to test a tool and you don't know if the tool is still around next week. So there are hundreds, thousands of applications you can use, and you can actually put each and every task you need out to the tools. And tools are accessible for everyone. We've talked about the mindset, and I think the mindset is the real differentiator. We all have access to the same tools, but being able to test them, to put them in your company, and to put the product to the market with the according speed is the differentiator. Talking about speed, I didn't mention it yet, but although it is called a single-handed company, that doesn't mean either that you build it fast. In the past, we've seen billion-dollar companies arising in a time frame of 5 to 10 years. And I think this is still true for the single-handed unicorn age. This is not a fast process. You will take some time to build it, and you will still need a couple of years, 4 to 5 to 6 years, to build a massive company. This is not done overnight. Okay, so here are some examples of concrete tools you could use to build your company. Bubble is one of my favorite ones, and you will build apps, low-code, no-code apps in an instant. It's very, very easy to build your apps with Bubble and use a wrapper, meaning that you wrap some large language model AI capacities in Bubble and put it to the market. We'll talk about business models a little bit later. And Relevance AI is your companion when it comes to agents. So with Relevance AI, you can connect all the APIs, all the agent capacities, for instance, sending out an email and understanding the intention of a message you get, and searching your calendar for available slots and sending them out via email. All you can do this with Relevance. It's very, very easy, and you don't need knowledge of coding at all. An alternative to this, with a little bit of knowledge in development and the development space, is N8N. N8N is a recent but yet very robust platform to build agent systems, and you can connect everything just using the API. The most fascinating thing about N8N, it runs on premise on your machine, meaning you don't need to spend for operations on the platform as you would like to do in a platform like Make.com, another competitor of N8N, that works just the same. So these are some tools. There are a lot of them, and just do a little bit of research using deep research, ChatGPT, and you will get a list and tons of tools to use. But these are the most fundamental tools you could use for building your massive company. And the third one, of course, the business model is important. You can't do this scaling massively with very small teams with every business model on the market. You have to focus really, really on the problem. So the higher you aim and the more massive a company you're going after to build, the more massive should be the problem you solve. In the past, it was normal that some engineers came up with some inventions like the light bulb and then thought about the purposes for these inventions and the markets and the ideal customer profiles and so on. And this has totally shifted. Now we identify the problems, and the huger the problems, the better. And then we come up with an AI solution for that problem. And the easier and the faster we are able to solve that huge problem, the bigger the company we can build will be. So this is the foundation of all. And so you have to spot the problem that annoys people the most to get the best business model and this opportunity possible. Namely, you have 3 ideas where to search for the problem and then for your solution to that problem. First, we're going in the niche of AI-powered SaaS products, so software as a service, being powered by AI, and you don't have to have massive technology and hardware at the back end. You can solve a lot of problems there with AI. Of course, second, subscription models enhanced by AI. So existing subscription models, we will see some examples, some real life examples in a minute. And the third one is AI-driven e-commerce. We see this arise, but I'm still wondering why the huge e-commerce companies like Amazon or Zappos or Booking.com don't build massive agents right now to drive their e-commerce platforms. The only idea I have of this is they're so saturated that they don't need to stay ahead of the market and use cutting edge technology there. So we don't see right now billion-dollar companies run by very small teams or single-handedly. But we see right now companies with an extreme high ARR per employee. So for me, this is the new KPI in that direction. ARR meaning annual recurring revenue. So this is the metrics for all SaaS models, software as a service. You sell a subscription to your service and you have recurring revenue annually. And if you put this per capita per employee, this is a good idea on how far you get in the direction of a single-handed company. And we see here some examples. Cal AI, measuring the calories of something you just take a photo of, is reaching right now 3 million annual recurring revenue per employee. And Lovable, to build also some applications with no code, low code, they were at 1.7 million annual recurring revenue per employee. And the third one here is Bold, and they have 2 million annual recurring revenue, also going in the direction of building software and tools using just AI. So this is one of the new directions, and it fits perfectly in what I said prior to this. One of the most burning problems we have right now is building software tools for fast changing markets with a very, very scarce resource, meaning developers. So if you're able to build fast and reliable with a less number of developers possible, the hugest and reliable software tools, the better you will fit that market. And as we see, the annual recurring revenue is according to that capacity. Okay, so here we are at the end, and if you're keen on read more about the idea, you will get a copy only on Amazon from The Single-Handed Unicorn. If you want to discuss further the ideas I've exposed here in the keynote, just connect with me on LinkedIn, where I hang around often. So have an inspiring day and a delightful time. Thank you for joining.
For video highlights, replays, and more, visit insightjam.com.